Hey girl, yes, you. You are seen, you are loved, and you were made for more. Created especially for teen girls, chart-topping Christian artist Ann Wilson invites you to her 40-day devotional, Hey Girl, through honest stories, scripture, and journal prompts. Ann talks about real struggles, comparison, insecurity, doubt, and faith, reminding you that God is always near and fighting for you. Hey Girl, from K-Love Books. Get your copy today at klove.com/books.
One of these men is a highly respected New York attorney, Lucas A. Ferrara. The other is a self-proclaimed man of the people, known as Mert Roberts. Their aim is to discuss the hottest issues impacting our city, state, and nation. Fasten your seatbelts. Shake it off with Mert and Lucas. Live starts now on AM 970. The Answer.
Ryan, that is absolutely beautiful. What's that one called?
Well, you're absolutely right about that being beautiful, Lucas. It's called Christmas Peaceful Night by LP Studio Music. And I know there's a very good reason why we're starting out with this one tonight.
Well, it's our Christmas special. It's our Christmas Eve special. With the holiday season with Christmas just a few days away, I wanted to talk about, some topics related to the holiday. But before we do, Mert, what are you doing this Christmas? Anything good?
Well, I'm in Texas with my family, so that's how I'm celebrating.
Well, bless you.
Christmas
You're out west. Did you bring your gun?
Well, what do you mean bring it? I live in New York, so you can't have guns in New York. Well,
Or
I
some
guess
cowboy
I can,
boots, perhaps.
Yeah, you're in Texas. Doesn't everybody carry in Texas?
Or the hat.
Well, you asked me did I bring a gun. It's like, how am I going to do that traveling on a plane?
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
ride a
Yeah,
horse
they
here.
did say that.
There's a lot of other headaches associated with trying to bring that on a plane these days.
Absolutely. So, no to the gun, but yes to the cowboy boots. And
There
I
you
got
go,
some
on the
new
cowboy hat.
boots
Don't
down
forget the cowboy hat. What about you, Ryan? What are you doing for Christmas?
Well, I wish I had more exciting things to say, but really for the most part, just spending it at home with my family, enjoying some great family time, and I mean that's really about it. We don't really do that much for Christmas in this day and age, but we always enjoy each other's company over at the Pagano household.
Spending with family is blessing enough, so good for you both. Now, with the holiday season in its final stages, or at least last-minute shopping, we wanted to discuss a type of deceptive advertising that's become increasingly common and that consumers face almost daily. So we wanted our friends out there to be aware of it, mindful of it, look out for it. Now, let's be honest. We all want to feel good about the stuff we buy, whether it's carbon-neutral phone, a shampoo bottle covered in a bunch of beautiful leaves, or even a plant-based burger. Most of us like thinking we're helping the planet in one way or another. But let's be real. Green used to be niche. A few reusable bags, maybe a compost bin if you were feeling ambitious. But now, sustainability is everywhere. Compost bins are mandatory in New York City. It's not a lifestyle anymore, Mert. It's a business strategy. And if your brand hasn't figured that out, you're already behind. Now, turns out people aren't just talking about saving the planet. They're spending on it. Listen to this, Mert. A 2025 survey from Global Scan found that nearly half of Americans, 49%, bought an environmentally friendly product in the last month. And that's up 43% from 2024. And another 36% said they wanted to buy green, but they couldn't because of the price. The price or confusing labels. Are you into green, Mert?
Well, I'm not into green, but I will make a comment on misleading labels and stuff like that, because I'm not going to blame the capitalistic society we live in for being deceptive.
You think it's okay? You think it's okay to lie?
I understand what's really going on, because a lot of people don't want to deal with the real reality. the reality is a lot of people are undisciplined when it comes to their diets, the cleanliness, whatever.
That's
so
true.
they want to try to eat as much as possible, and they believe if you slap an organic label on something or a green tag on something, then all of a sudden they can continue to consume as much as they did originally. So what we're doing is we're appeasing these people. We're making them feel good about continuing the never-ending cycle of overconsumption and unrealistic expectations, because realistically you can eat whatever you want to. Just don't eat 5 hamburgers a day. If you eat half of a hamburger, you'll be just fine because your body will be able to process it and eliminate it. But when you have 5 hamburgers, some fries, and then you try to put a Diet Coke. See, the Diet Coke thing is where it really starts, all that diet nonsense. But when you try to clear all that stuff off your body, I don't care how green it is what you're eating, you're still going to suffer the same effects. So the overall message that I want people to realize is, don't try to blame companies for trying to make a buck off you being lazy, and instead of being, responsible, you want a green
that doesn't
product.
give companies the right to lie about it. Many labels are deceptive. They claim to be environmentally friendly or plant-based or whatever the case may be. And in most cases, or many cases, they're not. And that shouldn't be okay. And what's interesting, Capital One had a 2025 report, says 89% of consumers have changed their habits to be more eco-conscious. 89%. So in other words, people are spending more on these products because they want to feel good that they're helping the environment. They're not hurting the environment, whether they're helping trees or whatever, climate change. So this is it's a marketing ploy, and it shouldn't be permitted if it's a lie. That's our point.
They're not helping anything. They're just being tricked into it, because if you think about it, how are these people making these products to begin with? If you're mass producing anything, at a certain point, the energy consumption is going to be through the roof, and then the fossil fuel use is going to be through the roof, because these companies aren't dumb. They're not going to try to power and produce all this stuff organically. They're going to try to do it the most efficient way so that they can make money. So all these people who believe that they're helping out the planet in a small way, maybe you are, but for the most part, I'm a little bit skeptical of all these people who want to do the right thing, but yet they continue to over consume instead of railing it in, or reeling it back and being more conservative that way. Instead, they want to continue to buy. The only difference is the plastic label now has green on it instead of it saying, hey, this is just sugar and everything nice, everything you could dream of. Now it just has green, and it doesn't taste as good. So that's the only thing.
You got a very good point. I think people need to rein in the spending, rein in the diet, rein in a lot of things. But today's topic has to do with this deceptive advertising that many companies are using, because I think a lot of times we're being played. Have you ever heard of the word greenwashing, Mert?
I've never heard of it, but I'm pretty sure I understand what it is.
Yeah, well, it's related to the topic we're talking about, where companies talk the green talk, but don't walk the walk. And it's not just annoying, it's dangerous. So what is it? Well, it's when a company makes itself look more eco-friendly than it actually is. Think of it like putting low-fat sticker on a donut. I mean, it's ridiculous. The term was coined back in 1980s by an environmentalist who noticed that hotels were asking guests to reuse towels, quote-unquote, to help the environment, while they did nothing else to reduce waste, which is a lot like what you're saying, Mert. Now, fast forward today, And we see greenwashing everywhere. It's not just hotels, banks, fashion brands, tech giants, even oil companies. And the government is coming down on them. Here are the stats. The European Commission, for example, found that 42% of green claims were exaggerated, false, or deceptive. 42%, Mert. And a 2022 survey by Changing Markets Foundation showed that 59% of fashion brands failed to meet basic transparency standards.
Listen.
Even the suits up in corporate know it's a problem. You okay with this, Mert? This
Absolutely.
is disgusting.
Listen, we're all out here to make a buck. Listen, I just went to
No,
restaurant.
I'm out to help the environment. I'm out to buy detergent that'll do the minimum amount of damage. That's what I'm out.
Guess what I seen when I went to the restaurant? I won't name it. It's a fast food establishment. They had a jar or something. Would you like to round up so you could donate to some kind of charity? And I always hit no, because why don't you take all these billions of dollars you're making and take it out of that pile and donate to these agencies yourself? But I understand what's going on. They have a lot of stuff that they have to pay for themselves. So you can't always look at things as, well, they're not 100% green. If these companies, if these hotels are saying, hey, we're going to reduce towel usage, well, maybe they're in their small way contributing and making people feel better, but you can't put it on the hotel company to do everything, because not everyone else is going to be on the same page. And now you're cutting into your profits for a small sliver of this country or this demographic in general that wants everything to be green and organic. That's a very small percentage of people out there that really care about that stuff. They want luxury, they want gas, they want things to be powered, they want everything bright, sugared up, salted up. Give me what tastes good, give me the best of everything. And if you have to, burn some coal to do it, so be it.
Well,
none of that.
they've done some studies on it, and Gen Z and millennials, Mert, are driving this. So there is a segment of our population, and the younger people seem to be very concerned. But let's break down some of the biggest offenders. I want to out some of these offenders because they need to be shamed. Volkswagen Dieselgate. They supposedly sold, ready for this, Mert, clean diesel cars. That's impossible. They also rigged emission tests, according to stories, news reports. The cars were spewing, Mert, up to 40 times the legal limit of nitrogen oxide. That scandal cost them over $200 billion and became the poster child for corporate eco lies. So that cost Volkswagen $200 billion. How about HSBC's climate ads? The bank ran ads about planting trees and funding renewables. What they didn't mention, their billions in fossil fuels investment. The bank invested billions in fossil fuels. What hypocrisy. So the UK banned the campaign for being misleading. Then there's your favorite brand, Mert, Coca-Cola. They promised to recycle every bottle by 2030, which is very cute. But they're still the world's top plastic polluter, according to Break Free from Plastic.
Well, wait a minute now. That's kind of misleading yourself. They're the top polluter. Are they throwing the bottles in the ocean, or is it people who are purchasing these Coca-Cola products that are doing that? I don't know if Coca-Cola is the one
Break
doing
Free
that.
from Plastic, they're not doing a great job. It's like promising to mop the floor while flooding the room, H&M's, the fashion brand, launched a sustainable line, but most of the clothes were made from polyester, and their claims were so vague that Norway's consumer watchdog called them out for greenwashing. So shame on them. And then there's Keurig. I have a Keurig machine. Do you? Mert? How about you, Ryan? You have one of
I'm
those
not
coffee
fancy.
makers?
I'm not a coffee drinker, and I'm not that fancy. Keurig, that sounds like some fancy that coffee
Keurig, yeah,
drinkers
that's where you take these little pods and you stick them in the machine. Now, they claimed that those little plastic pods were recyclable. Yeah, but only if you live in a city that accepted them. Not all cities accept them. So most of these pods that they call recyclable end up in landfills.
Well, you can't blame Keurig for that because they made it recyclable, but they can't.
Well, it is
determine
not
where these
recyclable
things are gonna
if the
go.
cities aren't accepting it, right? And then why aren't they doing an alternate kind of recycling option, like mail them in or bring them to a certain center in your community?
Yeah,
there are
like
ways
there's
around it.
some sort of incentive to want people to do that in the first place. Like that's exactly what you have with bottle deposits. You bring back your bottles to a supermarket or whatever. You get 5
to the
cents back.
supermarket, exactly. Or your plastic bags in Florida. Many of our listeners may not know this, but some of the local supermarkets like Publix, you could bring back your plastic bags because plastic bags are not normally recyclable. But Publix has a bin, and they apparently have a special recycling program for plastic bags. So they could do the same thing for the pods.
Why aren't the people repurposing this stuff if they want to be so considerate about the environment? Why don't you figure out a way to repurpose this? Instead of throwing out the plastic container, why don't you put something in it, put some ice in it and put it in the refrigerator or something like that? Now you got an ice pack or something like that. Why do we have to blame the companies? Maybe these people who want to be so considerate of the environment, maybe you should repurpose some of this stuff instead of saying, well, I don't have any place to mail it in. Why don't you figure something out yourself and make it an individual thing, because that's where it starts. It don't start with companies who want to make money. It starts with the individuals.
All right. I think we all are responsible. I'll agree with that. Some other brands that are disgusting, Hefty and Glad, they have recycling bags advertised as recyclable, but made from non-recyclable plastic. Shame on them. Chinette, Amazon, and others, they advertise disposable dishes labeled as compostable. You can put them in the compost.
Like them dumb straws at every restaurant, like those type where I hate those straws.
They're like paperish. They don't break down into compost. Game, Arm & Hammer, laundry detergents in green packaging. I'm sure you've seen them with nature imagery. But guess what? They contain environmentally harmful ingredients. So this stuff is scandalous, Mert. Now your favorite place, McDonald's and Burger King, they promoted, sustainable packaging, but they used wrappers that contained PFAS, which is a toxic forever chemical. I mean, come on, even your favorite fast food places are getting involved in this deceit and deception. It's not good. It's got to stop. Okay? What do you think, Mert?
It's not deceit. They're being pressured to make some kind of effort, but they're still a business. They still have to worry about paying bills, and nobody's going to say, man, we're about to go bankrupt. Can everybody donate half of their paychecks so that we can stay in business, because we tried to, go green and it just completely derailed everything we had working for us. So I'm not going to blame a corporation for making an attempt. However,
I blame them for lying and being deceitful.
It's not a lie. It doesn't sound like a lie to me. It sounds like a honest attempt. But, you can't make miracles if everybody's not going to participate, and not everybody's going to, in good faith, contribute to the efforts of these companies. So that's the dilemma we have that we need to really discuss and have everybody pay attention to. What are you doing as an individual to make everything green and safer for the environment?
Step up. I agree. Make a difference. Look, people, greenwashing isn't just a marketing misstep. It's a systemic problem that undermines real climate action. It lets companies look good without doing good, Mert, and it leaves consumers in the dark about the true impact of their choices, and that's my point. But the tide is turning. Regulators are tightening the rules. Consumers are making smarter choices, and brands that once got away with vague promises are being called out. Amen to that. So next time you see a product claiming to be green, stop and ask yourself what it means, because in the end, it makes a difference. Now, we are making a difference. You're listening to episode 76 of Shake It Off with Mert and Lucas Live. We're truly honored to have you along with us. 76, come on, let me hear an amen. This is Lucas Ferrara, and we're ever mindful that without you, we are nothing. Thank you. They're a little late, but thank you. We are nothing without you, so we're truly grateful for your support. Thank you to Mert Roberts, my co-host. You heard him. He's the Mertinator, and working the board and engineering and producing our show is none other than Ryan Pagano. He's got a critically acclaimed podcast, Bags' Perspective. When we come back, we have some great guests in store for you. We're going to start off with Dr. Stephanie Stolinsky. She's got an award-winning book, and we're going to be talking to her about it. It's called The Doc's Christmas Miracle, and we'll have a lot more in store for you. Don't go away. Shake It Off with me, Mert, Alex, Gabby, Ryan, Stephanie, and everyone here at AM 970 after these messages. Stick around. You don't want to be the only one at the holiday party who missed the forensic psychologist who used to be an actress and now solves trauma and plot twists for fun.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to newmanferrara.com. That's newmanferrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
Nowadays, when a lot of food is good and expensive, Michael's of Brooklyn is something that's just plain good. And if you want the best homemade Italian food, then you must get to Michael's of Brooklyn, Avenue R off Nostrand Avenue. Say hello to Fred and tell him Kevin McCullough sent you here to eat fantastic fresh pasta. And if you can't get to Michael's of Brooklyn, then how about joining the Sauce of the Month Club? You get a different jar of Michael's of Brooklyn pasta sauce and homemade pasta and biscotti each month for 6 months. Each month receive exquisite sauces ranging from arrabbiata to puttanesca and, of course, the fresh marinara. They're family-owned and operated, and I can attest to the authenticity of every one of their recipes. That's why it's stacked in my pantry. Everything is made completely from scratch. Even the sauce they sell in the grocery stores nationwide. They make it right there at Michael's of Brooklyn. So visit michaelsofbrooklyn.com and join the Sauce of the Month Club. That's michaelsofbrooklyn.com or call 718-998-7851. Michael's of Brooklyn, serving the community since 1964.
Hey, it's Joe Piscopo, and I'm talking to my friends right here in Jersey. Toyotathon is on at Route 22 Toyota in Hillside, New Jersey, and they're celebrating the holidays with the biggest event of the year. If a new ride is on your wish list, this is the moment. Route 22 Toyota has incredible deals on all your favorite models, and for qualified buyers, you can save big with leases starting at just $99 a month or 0.99 financing for up to 72 months. Plus, check out their huge selection of pre-owned and Toyota-certified used vehicles. At Route22Toyota.com, end-of-year incentives could get you out of what you're driving now and into a brand-new Toyota for the same or even less than you're paying today. Call 973-705-8905 to get all the details and schedule a risk-free appraisal. That's 973-705-8905. Let the team at Route 22 Toyota in Hillside, New Jersey upgrade your vehicle and have you driving into 2026 in style. Toyotathon is on now at Route 22 Toyota.
This holiday, treat yourself. Step into quality comfort shoe, boots, sneakers, even house slippers. Air Comfort Shoes Long Island has it all. All sizes and widths, sizes 4 to 16, narrow, medium, wide, extra wide, and extra, extra wide. A great gift idea. We ship it free and return in-store, online, or by phone order. Visit aircomfortshoes.com. That's aircomfortshoes.com. Or call 1-800-681-SHOE. That's 1-800-681-SHOE or 1-800-681-7463. That's 1-800-681-7463 or aircomfortshoes.com. Shoes, boots, boots and sneakers, all major brands including SAS, Hoka, New Balance, Echo, Riker, Picolinos, Era, Timberland, Dunham, Springstep, Monroe, Drew, Mephisto, Brooks, Samuel Hubbard, and much more. Use our holiday coupon for the lowest price guaranteed. Life is a journey. Wear comfortable shoes. 1-800-681-SHOE. 1-800-681-SHOE or 1-800-681-7463. That's 1-800-681-SHOE or aircomfortshoes.com. Home of the world's finest footwear.
Welcome back to Shake It Off with Mert and Lucas, live on AM 970, The Answer.
Oh, I just love that music. Dr. Stephanie Stolinsky is a nationally recognized clinical and forensic psychologist whose career spans decades of service in trauma recovery, child abuse prevention, and neuropsychological evaluation. Based out in Beverly Hills, she's worked extensively with survivors of abuse and PTSD, bringing compassion and clarity to some of the most difficult areas of mental health. As an author, Dr. Stolinsky first gained national attention with her best-selling non-fictional book. It's called Act It Out, 25 Expressive Ways to Heal from Childhood Abuse. This groundbreaking work introduced acting-based exercises as tools for survivors to process trauma, blending the doctor's background as an actress with her clinical expertise. In fiction, she writes under the pen name S.A. Stolin, crafting novels that weave psychological realism into compelling narratives. Her recent release, The Doc's Christmas Miracle, is a romantic mystery set in a small-town clinic exploring redemption, love, and the clash between medical technology and human connection. Across her many careers, Dr. Stolinsky embodies the rare combination of clinician, educator, and storyteller, and it's an honor and pleasure to have the good doctor on the program today. Welcome to the program, Doc.
Thank you so much for that intro. My goodness, I'm impressed myself.
Well, Doc, can I tell you something? I'm a big fan. I'm a longtime fan of yours, and you know what I'm referring to?
Thank you. No, not yet.
Oh, well, you're too modest, but you were on Starsky and Hutch, a very famous... Mert, did you ever hear of the show Starsky and Hutch? I mean,
Absolutely.
it's one of the classic
TVs. Starsky and Hutch, yeah. Oh, that was a wonderful show, and I was so excited to be a part of that. I really was. And that really did influence a lot of my writing later on. When you get on a set, you realize that something like the Doc's Christmas Miracle, first of all, I thought it was a miracle that I got on the show. And it all was by accident. I mean, I did a really nice a reading, but the thing was, the constellations all came together, Lucas. It was so funny because a friend of mine introduced me to the director. The director had me come in the next day. My name wasn't on the list, so by accident they called me in. And basically, that's what the Doc's Christmas Miracle is about, that if you just leave yourself wide open to what's happening, miracles really do happen. I mean, you've got to see the big picture. But did I meet you on Starsky and Hutch? Were you an actor?
No. I was a fan. I watched you on television. And for our listeners, although some claim I'm an actor and a lousy one at that, no, but I was watching you on TV, Doc. I was a regular viewer. Starsky and Hutch, great show. You played the nurse, right? You played the nurse on that show.
I played the nurse. I sure did. I had a reoccurring role as the nurse. And it was a lot of fun, that show. It was at 20th Century Fox, and I told my mother when I wanted to be an actress, I said, Ma, the first studio where I will work will be 20th Century Fox. And by gum, by golly, that's what happened. You know what I mean? You leave yourself open to stuff, and you put it out there in the universe. and it happens for you. And I think that it's really important to keep working and to keep being very creative, especially in your older years, because that's what we're giving back. Long after I'm gone, I'm hoping that people will read my books and just enjoy them. When they come home from work, they go, "Oh."
Hey, Doc, the Murdinator, Murd Roberts, has a question for you. Go ahead, Murd.
That's very true what you said, and I hear you. There's a common theme that I'm already picking up with you, with the talk about leaving yourself up to the universe and stuff like that. Because I believe that that's something that most people should do. You leave yourself open for good opportunities instead of closing your mind off. The question I would have for you, is, how do you put that into a formula or a recipe that people can intentionally follow? Because if I say just leave yourself open, that's very vague, and it might be confusing, and it might be done improperly by, some. So how would you?
Well, I don't know that it's a formula. I think that it's more or less just leaving yourself open to all ways of thinking. I always wanted to fight first when I was a kid because my father had wanted to be a professional prize fighter, and his family talked him out of it, thank goodness. But the thing was, the first thing that I thought as a kid was fight, But when I stopped and looked at people, and I was different with them, I was calmer and I was nicer, and I saw a part that I could attract, like saying what a great job they did, that everything changed.
Well, Doc, I don't mean to cut you off, Doc, but I got to push back a little bit because you just said something very interesting. You said you were a fighter at first. And me being somebody who was a fighter, I understand exactly what you're talking about.
You have a comrade. You have a comrade here.
It's easier to fight than
no.
Oh, you did.
What I was about to say. What I was about to say, Doc, is it's easier when you have that confidence inside of you that, hey, I can knock this person out, to relax and let things come to you. But I'm speaking about people. There's a lot of people out there who don't have. I think it's a luxury to grow up being, aggressive. But a lot of people grow up being the victim of other people's aggressions. So, that's what I'm talking about.
So true.
Yes, I'm trying to figure out how can we reach them, because if you're always being the victim, you're kind of already letting the universe have its way with you. It's just happening in a negative way.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to fight.
To change one thing. You change one thing, and if you can change one thing about yourself at all, a bunch of new things cascade. If instead of assuming it's going to be a big fight, but you find something good in the other person, as an example, I don't mean to be big Pollyanna here, but if you find something else besides the idea to fight, cascading of new and good things start to happen. And that's why I wrote the Doc's Christmas Miracle. I was enjoying myself. I don't normally write something romantic like this. Mine is usually comedy, mystery, and stuff like that. But I thought for Christmas I want to write something, that's visual, something that you can hear, you can see. The dialogue is in real time. Because as an actress, I think in beats and pauses, and physical reactions. And my books are pretty cinematic. Because they come from an actor's brain. And I think that if people can put themselves in another person's shoes, as an example, and go, well, I wouldn't want to be treated like that, so maybe I'll think of another way to react, that they'll find all kinds of new ways to feel good. And that's the whole point, is feeling good about yourself and just feeling good when you can. So much awful stuff is happening right now, and you've got to find all kinds of ways to, I'm feeling great. I think I'll go out and have some ice cream, instead of reading all this terrible stuff that's going on. It can really engulf you, I mean, don't you agree?
Well, absolutely. But I have a slightly different perspective. I think you should get used to the world being the way it is so that it doesn't affect you as much. I feel like we should learn how to see how negative things is, but at the same time understand the beauty of people, and that, sometimes, how people are acting in the public might not be who they are behind closed doors. There's a lot of good people out there who get bad labels. Like if you're a Republican or a Democrat, you get a bad label just for being on a certain side of the
Well, they're looking for trouble with that. I try and stay away from the politics completely. Because no matter what you decide, it's going to be rough. Somebody out there is going to disagree with you. The same with reviews. Somebody's going to love you, somebody's going to hate you, and most people are going to nothing you. They don't worry about it. You please yourself, like Ricky Nelson said. in the garden party. A lot of your viewers probably don't remember that song, but in my day, it was very big that he went to a garden party and people were ignoring him even though they knew him. And he thought, you've just got to please yourself. And I think that's a good way to think of it. If you please yourself, you're going to please a lot more people than, if you're fighting everybody.
Hey, Doc, we're going to talk more about your career and more about your new book after the commercial break. We only have a few seconds left. I'm going to put you on the spot. Who was your favorite, Paul Michael Glaser, who played Starkey, or David Soul, who played Hutch? Who was your favorite?
I liked them both. There was no favorite. I truly liked them both. They both had different things about themselves that were interesting, and they were very, very kind to me on the set, and that's what matters. I had just started my acting career, and they were so kind. I mean, they put up with it.
And we have to take a commercial break, Doc, so we'll talk more about it when we come back from our commercial break. Dr. Stephanie Stolinsky brings more plot twists than Netflix and more insight than your therapist. Tune back in, because when a forensic psychologist writes the Doc Christmas Miracle, the conversation won't be ordinary.
Over the last 30 years, Newman Ferrara, a New York City law firm, has evolved into a national practice focused on real estate, commercial, litigation, civil rights, class actions, and other complex litigation, representing many of the city's largest property owners, managing agents, and thousands of tenants. Newman Ferrara handles some of the nation's most significant class actions and civil rights matters. Newman Ferrara at 1250 Broadway in New York City. Go online to newmanferrara.com. That's newmanferrara.com. Listen to the firm's name partner, Lucas Ferrara, every Saturday at 10 a.m. on Dottie Herman's longest-running real estate radio program, Eye on Real Estate, on AM 970. A real estate lawyer for 35 years, Lucas is a professor at New York Law School and is also a published author with books on real estate and New York's landlord-tenant law. Tune in Saturdays at 10 a.m. to hear Lucas's unique perspective and advice on Eye on Real Estate.
We can tell you about the incredible success we bring to local businesses, but it's better when it comes directly from our satisfied clients. Here's just one example.
After searching for a new vendor to handle my search marketing campaign, I contacted Salem Surround after seeing the great work they did for another restoration company in the different market. Their team of experts recommended a mix of multiple tactics designed to get my business the most quality leads at the lowest cost, making my marketing budget stretch further. In our first year partnering with Salem Surround, we recorded our best year to date, and I've told many people how blessed I was to find them. The representative answered the phone every time I called and quickly addressed any questions or concerns I had.
Let Salem Surround give you an absolutely free audit of your current marketing and show you what your competition is doing. Then, we come up with a personalized plan that's perfect for your needs. Google Salem Surround New York and let our marketing experts help you achieve real success. Remember to Google Salem Surround New York today.
This is Albert Mohler for townhall.com. The murderous, premeditated attack at Bondi Beach in Australia forces us to look at two undeniable patterns. The first is the pattern of anti-Semitic violence. The second is the larger pattern of terror tied to immigration and Islam. This was not just a targeted terrorist attack on Jewish Australians. It was also a dagger thrust at the heart of Western civilization. Freedom of assembly means nothing if citizens are too afraid to assemble. Some people recoil at the suggestion that immigration and Islamic terrorism had anything to do with this and other recent attacks. But the facts are now plain to see. Western civilization faces a direct threat to both liberty and civilizational survival. Simply put, the vast majority of Muslims around the world do not want to join the civilizational project of the West, including the national project of the United States. We know it because they say it out loud. Folks, we need an honest conversation, and we need it now. I'm Albert Mohler.
Don't miss cutting-edge coverage of daily news from an America First perspective on the Alex Marlow Podcast.
Paychecks are outpacing inflation. And this is actually the fifth straight quarter this has happened. We just had this monster growth under Trump, and it's not going to be touted by anyone other than us. It's going to be on Trump and others to try to point out bright spots in the economy.
Subscribe today on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Rumble, or at SalemPodcastNetwork.com.
Town Hall News, where conservative voices cut through the noise from breaking headlines to fearless opinion. We report what matters without apology, written by people who actually believe what you believe. Town Hall tells the stories the corporate press buries, from President Trump to Capitol Hill, from pivotal elections to your everyday lives. Join the movement at townhall.com. Real stories, real reporters, real conservative media.
Welcome back to Shake It Off with Mert and Lucas, live on AM 970, The Answer.
Welcome back. Oh, I just love this holiday music. We've been speaking with Dr. Stephanie Stolinsky. She's an award-winning author and forensic psychologist whose work blends trauma, insight with rich character-driven storytelling. She's the creator of 7 novels, including her latest release, The Doc's Christmas Miracle, a holiday tale rooted in resilience and hope. For more info about the Good Doctor and her work, visit her website, stolinsky.com. That's S as in Sam, A as in Apple, STOLINSKY.com. We'll post links to the Good Doctor and her books on our website, shakeitofflive.com. Before I give you to Mert, because Mert has more questions for you, Doc, may I ask you, why did you pivot from being an actress to a forensic psychologist? How and why did that happen?
I never really left acting. I kind of expanded because acting taught me everything about character and subtext and emotional truth, stuff like that. So writing gave me control over the entire world. I didn't have to read a text to know what I was doing. I could actually create it. So I realized I had stories I wanted to tell, and I didn't need permission. I didn't need to memorize lines and things like that or worry about casting or timing. And writing just let me create the roles I wanted to play. So I kind of combined them both together, and I'm still acting. If it's like I say to your listeners, if they want to do something, go out and do it. If you're not getting cast as an actor, you get a camera yourself. You have a friend photograph you and doing a scene that you've written or that you wanted to write. And I think that that's important because we're always going forward. The inspiration comes from a mix of everything you're doing right now. If some of your listeners are truck drivers, they're seeing things all the time. If you look at the life of the character of the person that's driving next to you, it's mind-boggling. You'll see some guy that would never, ever be like you or her. There's a lot of truck drivers now that are women, and it's just amazing to see the different characters out there. And that's something I always point out to my husband when we're eating or when we're in a restaurant, where you look at the life of that character and what they're doing, the purse that they're using, even the way they drink their coffee or the way they lean forward. It's just fascinating. And so I think it's a combination of both. I hope people buy the Doc's Christmas Miracle because I want to tell a story about hope and what it feels like to have second chances and things like that.
Doc, let me cut you off right there because that's what I was going to get into. Because I want to read something. I want to read something for you because I think this is America. And Lucas prepared this. This is actually part of the description we're going to post about our interview. The Doc's Christmas Miracle, a story of second chances, faith, and healing set in a snow-covered mountain town.
Right.
That's perfect. That's perfect for the
very
time of year we're in.
It's very cinematic.
And it's very American because think about what we really root for in this country. We root for the underdog. We root for somebody who fell on their face and risen and achieved great things. So I want to know, what have you seen? Have you seen this in your own life where people have done this, and have you personally helped somebody have a second chance? Because
I think you're doing that right now. But I think you're doing that right now for me. I mean, the second chances are always coming, and this is definitely a second chance. I mean, I went from being an actress and I was working, but then at a certain point, the roles kind of fall away, and you wonder, what am I going to do with my life? And I went back to school and, got my degrees and things like that, and I found it just fascinating to sit with clients and listen. And then I went from there to forensics, which was fascinating because you see all kinds of people who are able to do crimes, and you wonder how on earth are they able to do that and live with themselves. I mean, we're seeing it right now with
Doc,
Reiner.
Let me ask you a question before you get into Reiner, because that's very interesting. That's an interesting direction. When the roles dried up and they came back after you went on this journey and you got all this other experience and you became a doctor, was the joy still the same, or were you like, well, this is nice that the acting is coming back, but now I'm enjoying this as well? What was the feeling when the roles came back?
It's nice for you to ask that, Merck, because I was crying my eyes out. I really was. I thought, oh, shoot, I was supposed to get into the Bronx Zoo, which was a series that never went to series. Oh, my goodness. I was using language most people have never heard. I was so upset. And when I went to school, I was still murky about it. I wasn't sure that I wanted to do it at all. But when I got into it, I really did enjoy it very, very much. And I realized, anytime you want to make a movie, go and write the movie. Get somebody to film it and wall it. What are you sitting there crying for? So I was very happy about that. And then when I got into writing, I think that was my salvation in a way, because the Doc's Christmas miracle is believing that even after your disappointments, something good really comes out of it if you just open your mind and look around you. I mean, you're doing that for me right now. I'm getting on a wonderful show. There's lots of people listening, and I hope that they get excited, especially at Christmas time.
Now, before Lucas gets to you, can you talk about, you were about to say something about Rob Reiner in that situation, and you being in Hollywood, you'd be perfect to talk about this before we move on to other things. Can you talk about what you're going to say about that?
I think it's a terrible thing that happened. I was totally shocked. I met Rob Reiner once. I didn't know him, and he certainly didn't know me, but I was walking around the Fox lot one time, and I saw him when there was some kind of casting. And I remember him just being a very tall, very nice guy. But what happens with kids, and you have to find some way to help them get off drugs or help them improve the way that they're living. And it isn't always just sitting back and going, oh, I think I'll send them to a therapist. I think I'll do this or that. Either you've got to get them in a room somewhere where they're not able to get drugs at all, kind of like Dr. Halstead, who was a brilliant surgeon. And because of him, he saved my mother's life, literally. He couldn't get off cocaine for the life of him. It's very hard to get off. And he said to one of his friends, put me in a boat, get me out on some lake, I forgot, and do not bring me to shore. For a month, I will pay you. I don't care what I tell you. Do not let me come back. And that's how he got off cocaine. And I think that that's what has to happen with some of these kids, One kid that I saw really needed to get into music. He absolutely hated class. He wouldn't go to class. He had all kinds of ADHD problems. And the minute you put him in something that was fun, something that was forward-looking, he changed completely. He suddenly became the champion of the class. He was playing the guitar, something he had never done in his life before. And I think that's what you have to find with people. I'm hoping that people will go away from this book feeling good and feeling hopeful and feeling, the next year is going to be something I'm looking forward to. This is what I'm going to be doing, and this is how I'm going to do it. It's a completely different thing from what I normally do.
Do you wake up every day feeling like that?
No.
Is that your mentality every day?
You would have to push that right on me. No, I don't always. But for the most part, I do look for ways that I can act. And I'm doing that right now. You're not always able to send the tape to the people that you want to see it. But at least you're getting to do what you want to do. And certainly the writing is that's the last career that I hope that I'll have, because I'm really enjoying it. And this is certainly a different book, a completely different book from the kinds I normally write. So I usually write under S.A. Stolinsky, and this time I wrote under S.A. Stolin. And I thought that's kind of interesting, to get a pseudonym for the romance. and then another pseudonym for comedy mystery. So, yeah, I hope people love the Doc's Christmas Miracle, and I'm very grateful.
Why
for you
use pseudonyms, Doc? Why not use your name? What's the underlying psychology to that? Come on.
What, about changing my name?
Yeah.
I think that you're always looking for the name that will click with people. I'm going to be writing probably for Harlequin now. It looks very good, and I'll be writing under Sonny Holt, Holt, just because it's a name that I like. And most authors have pseudonyms. They encourage you to have them. I don't know why. I have no idea why, but I can understand it. A couple of the very big writers have written under men's names when they're women. I think J.K. Rowling has just gotten a masculine pseudonym. And I think it gives you freedom. It's the way people put on a mask, or a lot of the musicians today use crazy names, like IT420, so that you don't have to look at the person. You can look at the craft, and you can look at what they're doing artistically. And I think that really frees you.
Interesting. How long did it take you to write the Doc's Christmas Miracle from idea to finish?
2 years. And
2
do not
years.
ask me, it took me 2 long years. Well, you keep changing, You should get an outline and never, ever deviate from that outline. What happens is when you're a pantser, and that's somebody that just sits down and starts writing, what happens is you end up outlining anyway. You know the story, and when you're finished writing the whole thing out, you've already got an outline. That's your outline. And then you go in and refine it and tell more. And I really wanted the Doc's Christmas Miracle to show what happens to Dr. Mark Moore when he's absolutely at his lowest. His absolute lowest. That's when you never know what's swirling around you, what's going to help you, and what's going to get you out of that hole.
What is the hardest part of writing romance for you? Is it the dialogue, chemistry, the pacing? What was the challenge?
The dialogue. Always the dialogue. Because what I say to you is what you remember and what you feel, and once it's out there in the universe, you can't take it back. So the dialogue is basically what anchors me. I know what somebody's going to say. I know why they're going to say it. If there's somebody that's very sexy, I know how they're going to push that. Or if there's somebody that feels that they're arrogant, I know how they're going to deal with control. And I like that. So the dialogue tells it all. And that's what I enjoy. Also, it's quick reading. You're not reading a lot of description and a lot of yap. You get right down to it.
Hey, Doc, we only have a minute left, so what's next for you? Another holiday novel, a thriller, or something entirely different? What do you have in store?
The next one is called The House of Blake, and that is about a woman who goes back to France to reclaim her name. She was a very, very well-known couturier, and her stuff was stolen. Do you remember Margaret Keane?
Sure.
She did Very Big Eyes. And this is based on that, basically, where someone literally stole this woman's costumes and humiliated her. And she goes back because her mother dies in Paris. And she finds out that revenge really doesn't work. What matters is that you reclaim your name and your reputation, and you show what you can do. So it's a very up book, and I'm expecting that to be out next year, early next year.
Well, we have to have you back on, because unfortunately, Doc, we've run out of time. Dr. Stolinsky is the creator of several novels, including her newest release, The Doc's Christmas Miracle, a holiday tale rooted in resilience and hope. For more info about the good doctor and her work, visit sastolinsky.com. That's S as in Stam, A as in Apple, Stolinsky, STOLINSKY.com. We'll have links to the good doctor and her books on our website. Shake It Off Live. Thank you, Doc.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year.
Merry Christmas. When we come back, we'll be joined by Dr. Anthony Szilard. He is a leadership scholar and author whose work explores human connection, emotional intelligence, and the impact of technology on our relationships. He's the author of several books, including Screened In and Love and Suffering, which translate his research into accessible, deeply human insights. So it's important that you come back after the news at the top of the hour, suffer through a few commercial messages, but once that's all done, Mert, Alex, Gabby, Dr. Anthony Szilard, and I, and even Ryan, along with the rest of the AM Sorry, Ryan. With the rest of the AM 970 team, we'll be waiting right here for you. We know you want it. We know you want to shake it off with us. Even Ryan knows. So please come back
Got that right.
for hour 2 and shake it off with Mert and Lucas Live. Lots more controversy awaits. If you want to dodge family feuds over fruitcake, you want to keep the peace this holiday season, you need more than eggnog. You need to shake it off with us.
The preceding hour of programming, sponsored by Shake It Off Live, LLC.
Hey girl, yes, you. You are seen, you are loved, and you were made for more. Created especially for teen girls, chart-topping Christian artist Ann Wilson invites you to her 40-day devotional, Hey Girl, through honest stories, scripture, and journal prompts. Ann talks about real struggles, comparison, insecurity, doubt, and faith, reminding you that God is always near and fighting for you. Hey Girl, from K-Love Books. Get your copy today at klove.com/books.